Hi there, I'm Sherry Snyder, and I'd like to share a story with you. This is a day I can remember as clearly as if it were yesterday, and yet it was over 23 years ago. So let me back up. I was privileged enough to be raised in a Christian home, and my parents sent us to Christian school from kindergarten on. And we were in church probably 3 times a week or more. I was practically born in church. The pastor introduced my parents to each other and then married them. And 24 years later, that same pastor performed our own ceremony. And I went off to Bible college, and in my freshman year, someone that I greatly respected challenged me, questioned my salvation, and asked me to take a look at the book of 1 John and write out the characteristics of a Christian and ask myself if I displayed those characteristics more often than not. And this person wasn't insinuating that Christians are perfect, but just that if a tree was planted, there should be fruit in my life. So I remember it was a Friday night and I was all alone in a classroom doing this voluntary homework, and I came up with 15 questions to ask myself, and I answered no to 14 of them. And in that moment, I was filled with this holy fear that I was heading to hell right then. And I had subconsciously believed that of course I was good enough that God would let me into heaven, all the good things I had done for Him. And with my head, I knew that verse, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and not of good works, lest any man should boast." And yet I had become very self-righteous. And so I saw this movie playing in my mind, and I'll describe it to you. So I saw myself dangling over the pit of hell, and the flames were ready to engulf me at any moment. And there was nothing I could do to save myself. I was completely powerless. The only thing I could do was look up. And when I looked up, I heard that verse, "Look unto me and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth." And I felt like I was dangling over the pit of hell with this thin piece of thread, almost like a dental floss. And I saw who was holding the other end of that dental floss. And I cried and called out in His name, Jesus. And He picked me up with those tender, loving eyes, gently scooped me up and placed me in His hand. And then I heard the verse, "No man can pluck you out of my Father's hand." And I felt so safe, so secure. I never doubted from that day forward who I belonged to, where I was going to go when I died, or that I was loved and safe. So, the pause. Okay. I was humbled of all my self-righteousness, and in that moment my knees okay. I was humbled of all my own self-righteousness, and I was brought to my knees in that moment when love conquered fear. It's the power of the cross. It was the blood of Jesus that cleansed me from my sin. I can't tell you how great it felt to have those religious chains of bondage just fall off of my hands and feet and be free. I felt safe, secure, loved. I knew that I was free from fear, free from guilt, and free to be myself and free to love others. So I just invite you to look to Jesus. He loves you and He longs to have a relationship with you, and He will replace that fear and that guilt with love and peace and a security for your home in heaven. So if there's anything I can do to help you, encourage you on your journey, please let me know. God bless you.